Today's segment of SoundBalming is brought to you by Jimmy and Mary's Authentic Body Care. I cannot express to you how much we love their products. Although we use them all year, as the weather gets colder, we need these products even more. The dreaded drop in temperature, the dryness, the itchiness, and the unnecessary flakiness is inevitable. Shea butter from Jimmy and Mary's Authentic Body Care is the only thing that works for my skin and hair needs. Not only do these products cure my dry skin, the whipped butter goes on smoothly and doesn't leave that uncomfortably thick, sticky residue. Bonus? It smells absolutely amazing. There are so many different scents to choose from too. Not only do they carry skincare products, there are products for authentic living, face, shower, hair and beard, spritzers and perfumes, and bath products. Let me tell you, we cannot even keep the stuff in the studio. The entire production team as well as all our children use Jimmy and Mary's product. Jimmy and Mary's take pride in creating quality, handcrafted products from simple ingredients for the entire family. Their products are made for all skin types and are 100% handmade, 100% vegan, and 100% cruelty-free. Skincare is important. Moisture is key, and keeping our skin and hair hydrated is essential. I cannot emphasize how much we trust Jimmy and Mary's for all of our skincare needs. Hurry on up to jimmyandmarys.com and check out their products. Did I mention service is fast and efficient too? Don't forget to mention that you heard about Jimmy and Mary's Authentic Skincare on SoundBalming. Use the discount code SoundBalm20 to get 15% off. That's SoundBalm20 for 15% off at Jimmy and Mary's Authentic Skincare.
Hey everybody, welcome to SoundBalming. I created this show for people who want to experience a radical, life-changing journey through the sounds of my diverse guests. I hope that each sound you hear on this show will strengthen your faith, encourage your dreams, and challenge you to awaken the greatness within you.
Drop the bomb. Drop the bomb. We're gonna drop the bomb. Drop the bomb. We're gonna drop the bomb. Drop the bomb. We come to drop the bomb. Drop the bomb.
This is a journey into sound. A journey which along the way will bring to you new color, new dimension, new values, and a new experience.
LaMarr, Darnell Shields.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whatever the time of the day it is. I am here and you are there. I am your host of SoundBalming, Dr. LaMarr Darnell Shields. And I create this show to introduce you to some people who have some amazing superpowers. And today is no different from any other day. But before we get started, I love to start out with our 3 breaths because I like to feel that energy and bring that energy into the SoundBalming community. So we're going to start with our 3 breaths and we're going to go deep inhale. Hold it, let it out. 2 more times, inhale. Hold it, let it out. 1 more time, we're going to go much deeper. Inhale. Hold it and let it out. What is that? That is called the breath of life. Yeah. From Josephine Baker to Jacqueline Kennedy to Cleopatra and to even my good friend Erykah Badu. Throughout history, we find a dazzling pantheon of women who refuse to behave and wait patiently for a hero or a shero. These powerful women have recognized their innate power and exercise that all day and every day. They break barriers and hearts, command respect and all. They live in love on their own terms. What is their secret? What is the essence of the kind of feminine power that makes the earthquake and men tremble? The answer explained in today's interview with Liz Lewinson. Liz is the award-winning author of American Buddhist Rebel, Women, Meditation and Prayer, and the power of loving man, a longtime practitioner and teacher of meditation and mindfulness. She enjoys upending traditional repressive views of power, women, and men. Her executive career spans public relations, Wall Street technology, and nonprofit management, and a constant learner. And I love that, a constant learner and lover of all things positive. She loves being taken on long walks in nature by her 2 terriers. So she is about to join me on a long walk, but we're not going to actually walk down the street together. We're going to sit down in the bomb shelter. And I'm so excited. Put your hands together for my friend Liz joining me in the bomb shelter today. Liz, welcome to SoundBalming.
Thank you so much. I'm happy to be here.
So you got to let our listeners know where you are calling in from. And let's just do a mental, spiritual, and health check-in. Liz, how are you doing today?
Well, I am doing really fine. I love that introduction because you hit on all the great points that I totally believe in.
And so, Liz, I'm honored that you're hanging out with me, calling from the great state of California, where I'm sure the weather is good out there. I'm assuming, right? How was it in Cal?
Yeah, it's a really beautiful spring day. The drought has not yet set in, so there's wildflowers. And I'm in Northern California near Palo Alto, which is just a lovely area.
Very familiar with Palo Alto. Do a lot of work in the California area. Pasadena, Alta Loma, Palo Alto. So I love that area. Yeah. Liz, in the introduction, I talked about you taking some long walks. Can you just come walk with me for a while? Can you just hang out with me just a little bit?
Let's do it. And
so today we're going to
barking. You'll know it's my parrot.
Well, listen, if you hear some barking from my Cocker Spaniel, my cockapoo, I have a new cockapoo, Biko, who I love. But I always tell people, how could something, Liz, so cute, smells so bad at the end of the day, but brings me so much joy. So from dog lover to dog lover, we have a lot of things in common. Liz, so some people believe that women have an innate power and together they can overcome any challenge and seize every opportunity. What do you believe, Liz, about women? You've been writing about this. You are a woman. You lecture about women in meditation and power. What do you believe about women, and what do you know about women that I may not know and my listeners may not know?
Yes. What I believe and observe and have seen about women is that women are actually the power species on the planet. And women have an innate ability to express and conduct power. And one of the first things I talk about in my book, Women, Meditation, and Power, is what is power? Because a lot of times people think that power is something to be a little nervous about because it could involve repression in some way, or because we've seen so much abuse of power, mostly by men. But power, I looked at nature when I really studied power, because the most powerful thing on our planet is, when you mentioned earthquakes, volcanoes, hurricanes. When nature gets big, it overcomes any human idea of power. And the nature of power is change and fluidity. That's what we see in nature. And naturally, when there's a volcano or a hurricane, what is it? It's nature speeding up. It's getting faster, right? Think about the element here. You have wind. Oh, I'm sitting out here enjoying a lovely little breeze. But when it speeds up, really gets fast, really has a big dynamic force behind it, you have a hurricane and everyone is literally cowering under the force. That is actually the force. That's the level of force women have innately. And I compare it to a woman's physical body, because we know that women have this innate fluidity. You know, there's a menstrual cycle. There's this power to have birth if you wish to go that route. There's all of these changes and fluid energy motions in a female's body. And they've tested this so many ways that women have certain faster reaction times. That really is the essence of power. And this has been so repressed in women for so long that women forgot about it. So my point is that we women actually are the power species. what are men, by the way? I talk more about this, but you have to include men when you're talking about women. The power of women has been repressed in every way for a couple of millennia at least, which has caused destruction. But the power of men is this innate loving kindness and humility, and the two are very complementary. All women should know that from the minute they are born as a woman, they have the ability to conduct energy and power at a rapid, fast rate. And if they manifest that in their physical life, as they should, then they will be expressing who women really are.
Mm-hmm. So I hear you say that women have power, and I agree with that 100%. But I want to go sort of in a different direction just a little bit. So the country I know is filled with powerful women, but women in power remain significantly underrepresented across a variety of professional fields in business, academia, politics, and the media. Why do you think that's so? And what could we do? And what is your work doing to help maybe shift that paradigm of what we're seeing right now? I do believe that this is we talk about this women's movement. We talk about the Year of the Woman. We talk about the Me Too movement. There's so many movements around women, but I know that there are powerful women that are out there, and you say that women have this power. How do we then sort of shift that paradigm so women can really understand the power that they actually have?
Well, first of all, the reason I think we still don't have enough women in leadership or corporate heads, it's the fallover from this history of millennia of repression. And again, I think we can't underestimate how much repression has taken place, because it's been political, it's been physical, it's been in terms of health, it's terms of social standing, it's been in terms of education. I mean, a century ago, a woman couldn't even go to school. So it's really, and what I'm saying today is also still true in many cultures. So what I believe we're still seeing today is a holdover from a long time of something that has not been right. It has damaged the whole earth. It has been harmful for our whole planet. What we all need to do, in my opinion, and what I see is starting to happen now, is that every single aspect, and we're talking again, political, social, economic, education, just sense of self, who are you, kind of an understanding, is starting to change now. And this is going to have a cumulative effect, so that you are going to have more and more people. I'm going to point, Amanda Gorman just popped into my mind. What a brilliant, self-confident, strong woman. And she's only, 21 or 22?
Yeah.
I think that this is exactly what we're going to see more and more of, because, as I said, if you parse through all the ways that you have been, and probably like today's generation's mothers and their mothers were held down and given funny images and wrong images. Even if you look at the old Disney movies, for example, terrible images of women, and just women don't do anything but be pretty and hold out for your prince. What a horrible, ridiculous concept. And all these things, whenever these little impressions have come in, they have to be brushed aside. And I do see more and more women doing that. So I think what we need to do as women is to be persistent. They say that because of COVID and economics, many women have had a setback. Well, a setback is not permanent, okay? A setback is something where, as women, we're very capable of adjusting to change because of this fluidity. That's part of our power. As women, I think we need to strategize now and go, okay, if this has hit me in that way, how am I going to get back into the workforce and earn money and do everything I need to become more powerful? And maybe it won't be the other ways that I thought. Maybe I'll have to be educated in new ways. Maybe I'll be joining forces with other women like myself, and we will collaborate. All this is possible now. It's not social media and even Zoom. Let's look at the good things that's come out of this, like Zoom.
Yeah, like us having this conversation. You know, I'm really excited about this conversation because within the last two magazine covers of Time magazine, one in particular called Women and the Pandemic, you know, protecting women when the law won't. And reading this particular edition that came out in March, I want to say like March 15th or something like that, it blew me away because it was so packed with some serious stories, like you just said, about the effects of COVID on women and what it's doing to women. And then, you know, another timepiece right after that was like, we are not silent about confronting America's legacy of anti-Asian violence, you know, and against women. It's blowing me away. So I'm seeing more and more in the media and having these conversations. I guess my concern, and I'm loving what you're doing, is are we getting the message, and who's controlling that message about what's happening to women?
Okay, that is a very good question. I do read about it probably as you do, that women are aware that this has been a very, you know, sort of set them back in the sense they were the ones now staying at home when they were working. They're the ones now keeping the education flowing. I think, once again, they're to be aware that this situation, probably I actually give COVID till the end of this year. You know, I think 21 is still a COVID year, let's face it. But I think that to the extent that any woman can take even 20 minutes aside and start building up some new skill sets. So I'm a very big believer in picking up on one of the, particularly tech, like even a few computer science type skill sets, because a woman can come out of this, I hope, and this is a strategy, with an educational skill set that she may have not had before, because you are sitting at home. I realize the kids are taking up a lot of time, but let's say if there's an hour at night, instead of watching Netflix, what if you enroll somewhere and see if you can get certified in something? And I would say, of all the things you can get certified that will be employable after all of this, and women, I believe, will get a good close look after all of this, because people are aware of the repression. It's a tech skill. I would go to one of these coding dojos. I would go to do something that gave you a baseline, because it's so employable of all professions. Just do something with that hour, my friends. First of all, it builds your energy for men and women. When you get a new skill, you know how you feel is really good, and you're challenged. That's really good. So take this time. It's not going to go away. I just do not see big progress. Hang on, hold on, but look for any opportunity you can get, because I think they're going to start to arise. And I don't feel that the women's situation will be ignored in this country, but it may not be at the top. Right now, we're trying to survive. We're trying to get the kids back in school, and we're trying to mainly deal with this COVID mess. Leverage it. Okay?
Well, you know, this article really opened my eyes even more, even though I'm really have an eye and ear to women's issues, because I do a lot of diversity, equity, inclusion work. But I remember maybe in 2018, Melinda Gates said she's over the next 10 years, she's committing to $1 billion to expanding women's power, word that you use, and influence in the United States. I think she wanted to say, I want to see more women in positions to make decisions, control resources, and shape policies and perspectives, because the woman's potential is worth investing in. And I think that I'm loving that you're saying that. And you're talking about in your work, investing in yourselves. You know, as women need to invest in themselves. And that's what I was discovering in the article, that even though, and several of the articles I read, even though it's all this stuff going on around COVID, having to take care of the kids, again, by default, who's going to take care of the kids? The woman. It's unfortunate. That's a reality. The partners going to work or what have you, even in same gender households, be very, very clear. So we're starting to see that. Why is this work so important to you? I want to go back to you, to young Liz. Why is this important to you, the young Liz? And the young Liz, I want to hear, what do you wish you knew from your younger self that you know now about women?
Well, I have to say that, what I would tell my younger self, and which I think I've made up for, by the way, since that time, because
you caught up, huh?
I ran across this knowledge about the power of women pretty early. But what I would say is, don't waste any time in your life thinking, oh, I have my whole life ahead. I can waste my whole 20s, can go to this. And don't be careful. Be careful about who you date. Be careful about the men you spend time with. Because if men that you spend time with, this is very important for the women to understand, that if a man you spend time with harbors any lower idea of a woman and her power, especially if you're physically intimate, you just pick up psychically those ideas and impressions. It can happen during sex. There's a transfer of energy. And if a man really thinks you're just like a bimbo or is using you, but you might think, oh, this is just casual fun. No, I'm sorry. It's holding you back. You're going to take time to overcome that. So I would tell my younger self, be very discriminating about who you go out with. Do not feel that this is just some fling for the whole decade of your 20s and it doesn't matter. It does matter, because it can put this mental impression inside of you that you don't even know where it came from. And suddenly you're not as ambitious. You're not going through the doorways that open. Sometimes there's subtle doorways, and your mind can trick you into thinking, oh, I'm not going to do that for XYZ reason. It all seems very rational. If you followed your heart more at those times, you would walk through it, because you're setting an example for your future children and your whole environment. So I would tell my younger self, do not spend time with a man that does not completely honor and understand your power. And if that means you're celibate for 10 years, who cares? It's fine. It's not a big deal. There's alternatives. So just don't make that some of the things that you and your girlfriends may consider cool, they're not so cool. They're destructive. So, and I'm not, this is not about being a prude. This is about conserving your energy as a woman so that you can always be walking through the right steps and taking the right classes, educating yourself and building up your power. I'm on Instagram, and there's so many funny little Instagram posts about all of this stuff. And some of them are, well, if he thinks I'm too educated, it's like, goodbye. These funny little posts. Or if he thinks I'm getting wealthier than him and it threatens him, goodbye. All these different things that might, in your mind as a woman, hold you back. That's the thing I would tell myself. I feel like choices I would have made might have been different in terms of my education at that time. And I also feel like I would probably be more powerful. And I think I'm pretty powerful, but I think I could be more powerful than I am today if I had not just had this attitude that, oh, this doesn't matter. I'll just spend a couple years maybe goofing off or spending time with someone I know is not really right, but heck, I'm still young. Honestly, that's what I would say.
And so I can hear the power and passion in your voice. Why is this work important to you, Liz, this work around working and empowering women and getting them to understand their own power and value? Why is this work important? And then why should anybody be interested in this work? Let's just say from a male's perspective, why should I be concerned about what's happening with women?
Well, I believe that, and others have said, but I certainly believe that the core reason our world is in trouble now is that women are repressed. And so it's important to me as a compassionate person. It's my social activism, actually, not just for women, but for the state of the world. And if you believe in things like karma and which is really just your state of mind, for a man to hold a repressive idea of a woman, or that in some way a woman is inferior, is actually creating bad karma for him. It's creating a repressive state. If he actually injures a woman through this negative view of her, and that is limiting her in any way, he's actually creating bad karma for himself, which is not a good thing. It keeps perpetuating over time, over time, over time. So compassion for me is both for men and women, because women have an ability now that seems like we're entering perhaps an age of women. And the age of women means that women will be able to express their full power, and men, as I said, would be able to have something that's been suppressed in them. So I observed, and when I wrote The Power of the Loving Man, I heard the most wild stories and true stories of repression, of loving feelings, that by a time a boy was like even 9 years old, maybe earlier, if he wasn't being like manly, he would get bullied. He would get completely ostracized. And this means that men grew up in a kind of twisted, wrong way. So out of what we need is for world peace. And actually there was a study, all the numbers were crunched, and it was found that the most violent countries are the ones where women are treated the worst. Where there's the most violence toward women, these are the most violent countries. And the most peaceful countries had the best treatment and opportunities for women. So even from a data point of view, this has been shown. And I think we should all take it to heart, because most of us, we all have many worthwhile causes, but this balance between men and women is very important. And of course, we all have male and female inside of us. Men have done a better job of repressing their female side. I think they're so threatened by it. But if you look at your female side as actually your power side and say, that's my fluid side, that's the side where I express power in the sense of fluidity and change. And I'm become adaptable to that.
So if females represent power, Liz, then where does this leave men?
Well, as I said, this leaves men to, I think, nurture and acknowledge the power of women, make room and actually encourage the power of women as leaders. Men need to overcome, this leaves men in a position now of being able to overcome the repression that they got sense with this. If this sense of masculinity is now feeling really too rigid and tight, to acknowledge that powerful women and to be comfortable with that means that you as a man can simply enjoy your loving nature, your kindness and your sweetness, and show it without being worried about, oh, that wasn't manly. You can be the person who sincerely expresses profound, deep, and loving emotions, not just to a woman, but about life in general. And I think that we get confused because we have sort of a limited definition of love in English. We think it's just more romantic love. But actually, if you go look up, check it out on Google, what are the 7 meanings of love in Greek? There's 7 different levels. There's like brotherly love, and there's family love, and there's, of course, romantic love. But romantic love is just one. And there's so many other types of love to really nurture and develop. And the highest at the top is called agape, universal love. And I believe men should just be running toward that, just embracing the most beautiful universal love. That would become then the male side of a woman, universal love, where she pulls up her power but doesn't suppress this wonderful feeling from the heart of love. Men start to tap down that if you have it, that male side that had that kind of superiority feeling or the extra competitive sort of cut it off macho feeling, let's start to tap that one down for men. And what you find when that happens is you embrace power of women and this loving kindness and humility of men. If I may, the way to actually start to do this and make these changes is to meditate. Can't get
we're going right into that because we're talking about love and passion. I know we both share a passion for meditation, but yes, go right into that.
Because meditation means, right? No matter how you meditate, and personally, I think it's good to have about 5 or 6 different ways to meditate, minimum. Why wouldn't you? And when you meditate, it's always about you focus, right? You learn something to focus on. And then once you can focus on one thing, including your breath, but not exclusively, that's one way to meditate, you can let go into silence. Right now in the world we live in, what prevents that from just happening naturally? Why do you have to sit down to meditate? Well, probably about 20,000 years ago, we could all sit down to meditate, literally sit and go into a high state of meditation. That's it. Why? No population. But when we're in a world now with how many billion are we up to? 16 billion? It's just
a whole lot.
Yeah. The earth was never meant to support this many people. We're all to some extent psychic, and we're all to some extent radio transmitters. So every person you're around, this is transmitting many of the thoughts you have and feelings, which goes back to why should you be around nice people who support you? Because you absorb these thoughts. And so part of what we do when we now sit to meditate, how filled we are with thought. It's monkey mind, it's hard. So that's why today meditation is a technique to focus on something. So I think beautiful mantras that are long and wonderful, or you can use a yantra, which is a visual aid to meditation. You just focus usually on the dot in the center or a flame. Before you start to meditate, to breathe, just like at the start of the show. Why? To breathe, to just still your mind through breath. Do everything you can, because during your meditation time of 15 to 20 minutes, that's your time to try to focus intently. It's not sitting at the beach. It's actually an activity. And once you are focused, you can let go into silence. And once you're starting to experience more silence, you start to experience more of yourself. If you've seen all the pictures, like images of the Buddha or all the Tibetan teachers that you see, also much of this in India, the pictures of the men look androgynous. Mm-hmm. They look male and female. And that's correct. So when you meditate, if you are a woman, you're going to be feeling innately what power means. It's not dominance. It's an actual energetic, powerful sensation that is your birthright. And men during meditation actually may have a slightly quieter experience because of the male nervous system is a bit more grid-like. I can talk about that separately, but the goal there is still to get into this deep stillness in which both power, love, humility, compassion, all the higher qualities reside. Then when you come out of meditation, it's organically infused into your being. So these changes for men and women, I think, are inevitable for this time period, and women have to fight for them because of this so many millennia of repression. But to help men and women feel absolutely wonderful about this change, have a good meditation practice, be regular with it. And that means at least once, like in the morning, but ideally twice. And here we go back to women, and they say, I don't have time, or men, I don't have time. Usually, at least the one time you might be able to grab is 15 to 20 minutes in the morning, and it means waking up 15 to 20 minutes earlier.
Like one of my past guests on the show, she said I do it like I'm brushing my teeth. If I have to brush my teeth, then I have to meditate. What I'm discovering about getting people to change their habits, Liz, and you know this, is an increment, but things that seem somewhat simple. I always tell people meditation is simple, but it's not easy. But if we make that commitment to then do that, you'll see you'll see those benefits. As a speaker, as an individual who's written several books, who's traveled all over the country, what have you noticed as some of the benefits that you're receiving from being an avid meditator?
Well, for this, I definitely have to go back to the early days, because I am one of those people that wakes up. I cannot even stand to start a day without meditation. Yeah. I hardly do it. But when I first started, and I was told to meditate twice a day, before breakfast and before dinner, I just remember I just sort of gritted my teeth for about 3 weeks. Why? Because I really wanted it to work. I really just desperately, I felt like there's so much, I was kind of depressed. I was sort of going in circles. If this doesn't work, I don't know, but I really wanted to give it a shot. So I remember after about 3 weeks going outside with my friends, and suddenly it was something that just bubbled up inside of me. It was a new feeling, and it was a feeling of freshness. It was a feeling like, oh, this happier, lighter person just bubbled up like a spring. And it was really stunning and wonderful. And I knew it was from meditating. And with that one feeling, I was then ready to keep going at it and keep my meditation practice. I also want to say to you that you may have learned one way to meditate, but you're finding it so hard to stop your thought. So go ahead, go online. There's so many lovely, lovely teachers. I gravitate to all the Eastern teachers and the Tibetan teachers, but there's Thich Nhat Hanh is just so lovely. And you can, on Zoom these days, you can sit in your home and try joining a meditation group. I would just say learn on your own, though, 4 or 5 different ways to meditate, and do those by book. Learn only if it shows you different ways, and then keep rotating your practice. So your background in your meditation, because I know you wrote a book called American Buddhist Rebel. Is your background in meditation is rooted in Buddhism? It is in Buddhism, and I actually started meditation through transcendental meditation many years ago. And, I think it's great. I think it's not the only way to meditate, though, even though people who do it might think so. I think that's where I first learned the habit. Now I do more Buddhist meditation, which will still be the same principle. But if you're taking any yoga, I meditate using... in yoga, they talk about energy centers in the body. Have you had that on the show where people talk about the chakras? I actually meditate during a meditation session on 3 of the chakras. There's the power center, just above the navel, the heart center, which is all about love, and then the third eye, which is intellectual insight and prowess. So go ahead. No, finish what you're going to say. I just focus on these 3 centers, and sometimes I'll visualize like a beautiful luminous color in a circle, each of these chakras. So during one meditation center, if I know I have 20 minutes, I might do like 6 or 7 minutes, one chakra, then I go up, and then I go up. And this is just, again, one way to meditate, but it's a good beginning way. And it also creates those qualities in your being. It's sort of, chakras are pictured as like a lotus petal that's kind of closed. And as you just simply do nothing but sort of feel a mental focus, you're kind of opening up that closed lotus, and you're imbibing the qualities of power and heart and intellect. So that's a very nice balanced way to meditate. Again, there's such beautiful visual yantras out there. I do think if you're meditating, yes, you can focus on a paperclip, but why? Why not take your time and focus on something that brings you spiritual benefit. So you have a big day ahead of you. Your mind will be challenged. Your emotions will challenge. But meditation is a very profound, wonderful discovery process. So many ways to meditate. I have to tell you that we couldn't go over them all on this call, but
well,
yeah.
I just purchased, Liz, 7 crystal singing bowls, and they all represent each one of the chakras. And my children and I love it. Not only just the beautiful sound, but just the beautiful colors from the sounds. Sometimes we have direct light on them. So my children, who are all under the age of 19, between 14 and 19, really appreciates that. And I appreciate you for hanging out with me. But before we leave, how can my listeners, before we leave, I want you to leave your final thoughts with my listeners. And then how can my listeners get in contact with you, and if they want to purchase your 3 amazing books?
Well, actually, I have a website. It's called lizlewinson.com. And I think you have my name there on my lizlewinson.com. And there's a contact page. And if you write me a message, I'll get back to you. If you want to, I have other things. I had a beautiful vision of the power of women and also the power of men. And I write about it. This is just a little book. It's called The Power. Whoops, that's the men one. Wait. This is the Women Meditation and Power. It's out there. But you can, just find me on my website and write me and I'll write back.
So what should my listeners expect from, let's just say, each one of the books? So the meditation, the one for women, the one for men, and then also the American Buddhist Rebel. Just take me through each one of those books. So What should my listeners expect from reading those books?
In Women Meditation and Power, I go into more depth on some of the programming we've gotten as women and how to overcome it and the importance of recognizing it. I talk about a vision I had about the power of women, which is as vast as a tsunami. And I talk about that, having that vision. I think it's a neat, inspiring thing. I talk about things not to do as well as to do. And I basically give a number of meditation techniques. So that would be that book.
Give me some things not to do and some things to do for those that are out there.
The things not to do are, again, be in a destructive relationship. That's probably at the most serious level. The not to believe a voice, not to avoid challenge. Okay, take challenge. We're kind of in a culture which is a little bit on the lazy side, I'm afraid. It's like our idea of fun is going to the most crowded beach, sitting there and soaking up sun. Okay, yes, but to be honest, if you want more energy and a higher sense of your mind and your being, it's with challenge. And challenge is usually intellectual. So I say, don't fall for this kind of sedative approach to your power level. Do the empowering things. And I, in terms of good things, spend time alone in nature. I actually suggest going and practicing a martial art. So after this COVID thing is over, martial arts is fabulous for men and women. And it's probably something you never thought of, but I did it for years. And I can't tell you how great I love martial arts. And it's not just because I can defend myself. It's mental and physical. If you're going to go and spend an hour in a gym, I would say, why not spend an hour at a martial arts class and really learn the tradition and the discipline? I think, again, after a couple of classes, you will just love it and what it does to your mind and your idea as a woman. And you can also build power just by breaking your routines. If you've been doing the very same thing for year after year, and you find maybe now it's time to do things differently, drive to work a different way, you've been sitting in the same chair for, all these years, is it time to maybe get a new chair? The reason for this, it sounds trivial, but it starts to build up this overall energy level, which helps build up your meditation.
I like that, Liz. I mean, that's a really, really simple thing on the surface level, but it also can be challenging to many people. I like how you said, if you want to hold on to you want to hold on to some power, if you want to build your power, rather, that's what you said, is to shift some of the routines that you're so used to. And you're right. Like I tell people, you want to try something different. Instead of bathing with your right hand, bathe with your left hand. Instead of, right, that really, because then you get a chance to see what you're capable of doing, even though it's something small in the grand scheme of things. It's a large thing that's actually happening. I love that.
Yeah. So this book has all kinds of just suggestions like that. A lot of women have modest goals for their income. They want to just get by, pay the rent. Why not aspire for a huge amount of income? Because there's money is an energy factor in today's world. It didn't maybe used to be 2,000 years ago. Everyone wasn't, but today, let's face it, you could help more people if you had more money. So here again, well, if you want that goal to be really high, what are you going to do to achieve it? And you start small with smaller steps. And I believe for most people, men and women, the way to do that, my friends, is to get yourself into some kind of schooling that educates you. And I think hopefully with the current administration and the current environment, more and more opportunities like that will be open. Because anything that is involving less educational roles, they don't pay as much. You want to be in a job where you're good at what you do, period. I'm talking to everyone listening to this. So why not get paid what you should be paid? Add some extra certifications. I know that the technical certifications will be fabulous. And if you think it's all math, it is not. It's usually logic. And I know when I got into tech, I just thought, I don't know what this is going to be, but it turned out to be logic, and that my prior communication skills were tremendously helpful. Tech is such a vast field that whatever you're in now, whether it's education or nursing or any number of fields, I value educators. So I'm just saying that you need to decide where your power level is most expressed and go for it. That is what I say. I talk about some other good, practical suggestions. I have a yoga teacher, and part of what she does in every class, in part of the yoga exercise, I like yoga too, is she has us laugh. Have you ever done that during yoga? And
I did it. One day, my daughter and I were walking through the park, and it was a group of people. And to this day, we still remember them just laughing, just this loud burst of laughter. And of course, we looked at them like, what the heck is going on? And then I approached someone, and he told me it was us having this sort of cathartic movement, this moment where we're getting this energy out and this great feeling. And so then, as I started to grow in my own development, and then I started to research and I started to see where he was going. At that time, it was just some strange people, Liz, in the park laughing like, what the ham sandwich is going on with these people? And now I know what it actually means.
So that's so perfect, because when you think about it, laughing, we know, creates, what is it, phenomes or something that has a chemical response. So if you, there again, and for men and women, but let's say women are getting sort of depressed, they've been trapped, they're not feeling, what if when you do your 5 minute of exercise, you fake that laughter, you just start with your belly laugh and you go, oh, you know what? It's not that hard for it to transform into real laughter. And it's actually still moving the same muscles and energies. And so that actually is one of my suggestions, is laugh more. And you're not laughing at other people. You know, it's lovely to laugh with people. And hey, go online and find yourself a laughing group. Do you know that you can find just about anything these days, right?
I know. You can do that. So listen, you all heard it. This is Liz Lewinson hanging out with me in the bomb shelter. I encourage you to check out all her amazing books, go to her website, check her out, engage her, look at all the talks that she's given on YouTube. Treat yourself. This woman is amazing. Just like I said in my introduction. Liz, before we get out of here, I just have one more thing I want to say, and I'm going to go to the super bomb question. What do you want women to know about themselves that they may not know? What do you want women to know about themselves that they may not know or believe?
I'd like women to know that their power level is at the level of a tsunami fully risen. Picture it roaring, endless, and that vast and that big, and that's your innate. That is the symbol for your power level, and that women should know that their job now is to manifest that in the ways that they can and be very patient. Be strategic, be patient, love yourself, but know that you're on this path to get back to where you used to be.
I love that. That's a great way to wrap up that segment. Now, Liz, one of my favorite parts of the show is called the Super Bomb Questions. Is brought to us by Mountain Made. These questions are very different from the first part. I'm going to ask them questions quickly, and I need you to respond to them as quickly as possible. But you're so sharp, and I know you're already ready because you are a woman and you have power. So, Liz, here we go. The first question is, what is your favorite word?
It is meditation.
What is your favorite quote or some type of spiritual verse or maybe a lyric to a song?
Samsara is nirvana.
What's your superpower?
Perseverance.
What's your spirit animal?
Frogs.
What moves you to tears of joy?
Loss.
What moves you to tears of sorrow?
Oh, I didn't catch the first one. That's loss, is sorrow.
What moves you to tears of joy?
Friends and beautiful things in nature.
What moves you to tears of sorrow?
Loss.
What do you wish you had more time to do?
Right.
Walk us through your morning routine. Once you do all the biological things that we all must do, what's your morning routine like?
It's meditation, yoga, walk the dogs.
What guides your heart?
Intuition and love.
How do you express gratitude with those you love?
Anything from flowers to prayer to kind words.
Liz, if you were in the Miss America talent competition, what would your talent be?
It would be reading beautiful mystical literature.
I love that. No one else has said that. So you know this woman is very unique in her own way. That's why you need to check her out. Liz, thanks for joining me today in the Bomb Shelter. It's been a great joy and pleasure for me to talk with you.
Same here. It was lovely, lovely to talk to you.
And I also want to thank my amazing engineer, Alexander Blanc, my super duper producer, Nicole Klimpaka, and all of you for listening, and also to my musician, Supremacy, for our theme music. Thank you all for listening. If you want to know more about me, go to drdrlds.com. Check me out. We're on every platform. Stop being stingy. Share me with your friends. Leave a comment here or YouTube. Leave a comment. And as always, believe that something wonderful is about to happen. But some people miss the message because they're too busy looking for the mess. But not you, because you've been listening to SoundBalming. Peace.
The Super Bomb questions are brought to you by Mountain Made CBD. Mountain Made is changing the CBD game by offering a line of high-dose CBD tablets at an affordable price. Their products are THC-free and third-party tested for accuracy, cleanliness, and potency. Their products, which ship nationwide, include Build for CBD saturation, Boost for precision titration, and Recover for rest and rehab. With 9 years experience in hemp and fitness, Mountain Made's founders are focused on creating a quality product to help those who live an activated lifestyle. Check out mountainmade.life. Again, that's mountainmade.life to find out more about how their products can help you crush life. Remember, their products ship nationwide. Go check out their website today and follow them on social media at Mountain Made. That's the @ MNTMADE. Our staff at SoundBalming uses Build before a morning workout, which helps to push our bodies to a whole new level on a daily basis. Try Build, try Boost, try Recover. Our staff is using these products to enhance our active lifestyle naturally, and we are crushing life with Mountain Made CBD, and you can too. Start today by going to mountainmade.life and ordering Build, Boost, Recover, or the multitude of other products that they have which will enhance your lifestyle. I promise you, you won't regret it.